Hello and welcome to day 2 of MRMW in London. I'm delighted to be joined here by Reid of Sentient Decision Science. Hello Aaron, thanks for joining me. Would you like to give a brief introduction of yourself first of all?
Yes, thank you for interviewing me. I'm Reid. I'm the Chief Behavioral Scientist at Sentient Decision Science, and we are a behavioral science-based research and consulting firm operating out of the U.S.
Brilliant. So, if there are any key presentations that you've been interested in thus far, anything that's caught your eye?
Yeah, there have been several, but it's been a really engaging conference. I think one of the kickoff keynotes from TNS was very interesting. The focus there was on designing mobile studies that are only 2 minutes in length, 120 seconds. And that's interesting because it opens up your representativeness, because you can get to a population that doesn't have smartphones. And yet there are significant limitations to it as well, because it's very difficult to get deep insight on the drivers of the why behind behavior when you only have 120 seconds. And you're all text-based in your interviewing. And so I think that poses a big challenge for the industry as we're trying to get representativeness, but also trying to use advanced methods on mobile devices. One other presentation that really caught my eye, just came out of it, was Skim's presentation on doing conjoint studies on mobile devices. And this is really important, and it goes to one of our key insights from the conference, which is if you can do complex studies like Conjoint, which were optimized for online PC laptop interfaces, if you can do those on mobile devices in an efficient way, you've essentially tapped the mobile market without losing the advances of a research technique that derives insight through observation. So what Skim has done, or what they presented, was Conjoint in 3 taps on your mobile phone. And you think about that, that's a very complex study. And they're doing it by distributing information. They're collecting more data. They're collecting data from more people, but less data per person. And what I found really insightful there was they went back into their databases and began to run models on information that they had to see how much they could reduce the amount of information per person and still get reliable results. I like that kind of innovation.
We talked a little bit briefly before this interview about how mobile can take these advanced innovations and run with it so as to not lose the hard work that's being done. Have you got any thoughts on that?
Well, I think this is critical. So we've got great new access points to consumers, and we need to be on mobile because that's where we're going. But we can't step forward with our access points and simultaneously step 20 to 30 years back in terms of our research methods. And when I talk about stepping 20 to 30 years back, I mean we can't begin to once again rely on stated importance questions or stated influence questions, because we know that consumers either can't or won't tell you the true drivers of their behavior. So if we're limited on mobile devices to just rating scales, attribute ratings, or stated importance, yes, we've got new access points, but the information we're getting from that access point is not going to be any good for our insights. So we have to have innovation that brings the latest advances from behavioral science to mobile devices. And obviously our focus is on implicit research technology that taps the subconscious motivations of behavior, and now we can do it on mobile devices.
Fascinating stuff, Aaron. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.